It's all covered in today's China Truths.
China's once glorious metro dream is crumbling before our eyes. The Shenzhen Metro has just revealed massive financial losses, and ordinary people are questioning everything. For such a short distance, why are there so many security guards? Why do we need 2 checkpoints? But behind the subway crisis lies an even bigger tragedy: real estate. One heartbroken homeowner confessed, "I bought a house for 7 million RMB. Today it's worth only 300,000. In just 8 years, 7 million RMB has vanished into thin air." Another cried out, "My sisters, the sky has collapsed. We paid 16,000 RMB per square meter last year. Now it's already down to 12,000. We lost 400,000 RMB in less than a year. My husband and I are devastated. We no longer want to live." For over 2 decades, subways were hailed as symbols of a city's progress. Local governments competed to build more lines, spending billions to showcase modernization. Every new station was a political achievement, proof of power and success. But beneath the shiny trains and glossy billboards, the truth was hidden: endless losses and crushing debt. Take Beijing as an example. Each subway exit has up to 7 security checkpoints. Imagine 4 exits at every station. That's nearly 30 guards per shift. 2 shifts per day means 60 guards. Including those on leave, the total rises to 84 people per station. Multiply that by Beijing's 646 stations, and you're looking at more than 55,000 security staff. Just their wages cost 11 million RMB every single day. Meanwhile, daily passenger revenue is only about 31 million RMB. Over 1/3 of income disappears into security costs alone, before even considering cleaning, drivers, ticketing staff, maintenance, or electricity. No wonder these subways are drowning in losses, and the construction costs are astronomical. Shanghai's Metro Line 19 costs 2 billion RMB per kilometer, far higher than global averages. Expansion after expansion, with no real planning, has left local governments buried in debt. So why do cities keep building? The answer is chilling. It was never about passengers. It was about real estate. For 20 years, subways were not transportation projects. They were real estate projects in disguise. Build a subway, land prices go up. Developers rush in, build apartments, sell at sky-high prices. The profits from real estate cover the subway's financial hole. Shenzhen Metro in 2022 earned 3.6 billion RMB from tickets, but a staggering 16 billion from real estate. Wuhan Metro, 3.1 billion from ticketing, 5.3 billion from real estate. These companies aren't really transport providers. They are property developers wearing the mask of metro operators. But now China's property bubble has burst. The model no longer works. Housing prices are crashing, buyers have vanished, and the once booming profits that fed the subway system have evaporated. The fallout is brutal. Shanghai Metro has begun large-scale layoffs. Over 2,000 employees, mostly in their 40s and 50s, were the first to be cut. Why? Because older staff earn higher wages, between 8,000 and 15,000 RMB per month. By replacing them with new graduates making just 4,000 RMB, the company saves over 100 million RMB annually. One senior worker revealed, "The compensation sounds generous, N plus 5 months' salary, plus 10,000 RMB in cash. But in reality, in Shanghai, this money only covers basic living costs for about 3 years. For middle-aged workers, finding a new job is nearly impossible. And the nightmare is only beginning. Shanghai Metro officials admitted that by 2028, most lines will transition to driverless trains. Station attendants, outsourced workers, even more staff will all be replaced by AI. So while companies boast of technological upgrades, thousands of families are being thrown into despair. The layoff of 2,000 workers is just the start. What began as China's proudest sign of modernization, its vast metro network, has become a symbol of collapse. The truth is out. Subways were built on fragile real estate profits. Real estate has now imploded, and with AI replacing human workers, ordinary families are paying the price. This is the harsh reality facing China today. Metros are losing billions. Homeowners are trapped in collapsing housing markets, and workers are being cast aside in the name of efficiency. The dream of progress has turned into a nightmare of debt, despair, and broken promises. Even jobs once considered stable, like the subway, are now under threat. Layoffs are spreading everywhere. Look at your phone. Why are so many middle-aged people suddenly making videos? It's not because they love self-media. It's because they have no work, no income, and no other options. At this rate, how can anyone feel secure raising children? Unless your child is a super genius, what future will they have in a collapsing economy? Let's take Shenzhen Metro as an example. For years, it was hailed as China's most profitable subway company. But in 2024, everything collapsed. The company reported a staggering loss of 33.4 billion yuan in a single year, its first deficit in a decade. And the reason isn't fewer passengers. Last year, Shenzhen Metro carried more than 3.1 billion passengers, a record high. Its metro business actually grew, bringing in nearly 13 billion yuan in revenue, up 26.7%. So why the massive losses? The answer lies in real estate and one company, Vanke. Back in 2017, Shenzhen Metro poured 66.4 billion yuan into acquiring a 27% stake in Vanke, becoming its largest shareholder. For years, this seemed like a brilliant move. From 2017 to 2022, Vanke paid out 19.2 billion yuan in dividends to Shenzhen Metro, turning it into the only profitable subway company in China, while others bled money. But then came China's real estate downturn. Housing sales plummeted, debts exploded, and even Vanke, once one of the most powerful developers, fell into crisis. In 2023, Vanke posted a net loss of 49.5 billion yuan. And because Shenzhen Metro had tied its fate to Vanke, it too was dragged down. Think about this. From 2019 to 2023, Shenzhen Metro earned a total of 27.3 billion yuan in profit. Yet in 2024 alone, it lost 33.4 billion yuan, wiping out 5 years of earnings in just 1 year. Why? Because Shenzhen Metro is trapped. With so much invested in Vanke, it can't back out. If Vanke collapses, that 66.4 billion yuan investment evaporates overnight. The losses would be unbearable. So instead of retreating, Shenzhen Metro is pouring even more money in, desperately trying to keep Vanke alive. In just the first 9 months of this year, Shenzhen Metro has lent money to Vanke 8 different times, totaling 25.9 billion yuan. That's the equivalent of burning through a small goal of 100 million yuan almost every single day. One blogger put it bluntly, "Every time we take the subway, we're not just paying for a ride, we're helping Vanke survive." And this is the cruel reality. Shenzhen Metro is no longer just a subway operator. It has become a lifeline for a failing real estate giant. Since 2017, it has invested nearly 100 billion yuan into Vanke. Today, Vanke's shares account for more than 10% of Shenzhen Metro's total assets. The sunk cost is so massive that there's no turning back. In other words, the subway is bleeding, not because people stopped riding trains, but because it bet its future on real estate. And now, both the subway and its passengers are being dragged into China's housing collapse. So, when will Vanke climb out of this nightmare? Right now, it's sinking deeper and deeper. In just the first half of this year, Vanke lost a shocking 11.9 billion yuan. Sales collapsed by nearly 50%. Even with Shenzhen Metro constantly pouring money in, the company is barely hanging on. Without that lifeline, Vanke would have been dead long ago. But here's the twist. Shenzhen Metro itself is bleeding out. In 2024, it carried 3.1 billion passengers, the highest in China, yet still racked up losses of over 30 billion yuan. How is that even possible? The truth is brutal. Shenzhen Metro bet everything on real estate. Subways weren't just transportation, they were giant land speculation machines. The logic was simple. Build subway lines, push up land prices, sell the land, and use the money to keep the system alive. As long as housing prices never fell, this money-printing machine never stopped. But now, the bubble has burst. Take Foshan as an example, a city with nearly 10 million people, yet Metro Line 3 skips a community of 200,000 and runs into empty suburbs, just to serve brand new housing projects. And what's the result? Subway occupancy rates under 10%. Even with huge subsidies, cities like Chongqing still lose hundreds of millions year after year. This isn't just bad planning, it's a dangerous gamble. In 2005, Chongqing's subway was only 13 kilometers. By 2024, it exploded to nearly 500 kilometers. But stations like the Betong line barely see 19,000 passengers, while maintenance costs soar into the stratosphere. Now, the game of musical chairs is over. Land finance is gone. Subways face only three fates: jack up ticket prices like Hong Kong, shut down like Zhuhai's 3 billion yuan tram project, or cut power like Foshan to save every penny. But here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about the subway, it's the story of an entire era fueled by bubbles. When the housing market collapsed, it didn't just wipe out developers and subways, it crushed ordinary people. One homeowner shared his nightmare. He sold his apartment and lost 1.15 million yuan in less than 3 years. His down payment, mortgage payments, and renovation costs all vanished into thin air. He lowered his asking price again and again, and when the deal finally closed, the only money left was enough to pay off the bank. Everything else was gone. This is the real cost of China's collapsing property dream, not just bankrupt companies, but millions of families watching their life savings disappear overnight.
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.